Pryde's Picks is spoiler heavy and full of crude language. I swear like a sailor, and Lockheed's no better. Consider yourself warned. Hi everyone, it's March 12th and I'm here with this week's Pryde's Picks. Now this week's stack might look a little heavy, and that's because of Marvel Now and all their number ones. So we are going to pop through Marvel real fast, get to DC, one book from Arctic Entertainment, and Image Comics. Let's get started. First up is Fantastic Four issue 2. Now this book is basically the fall of the Fantastic Four, and we were talking about it last week, and I was saying I don't give a shit about the Fantastic Four. This book is what happens if they save the day and fuck everything up. Wow. I didn't think I'd enjoy it so much, and I did. I'm gonna say wait for the trade. It's definitely not a buy it now, but when they try to save the day and they butt rate themselves in the ass, it's something to see. Next up is All New X-Men issue 24. Now, as you all know, this is the trial of Jean Grey. This is part 5 of 6. And this is what happens when young Jean Grey finally figures out what the Shi'ar did to her family and busts out of prison in the middle of her trial and wreaks havoc. Meanwhile, the Guardians of the Galaxy and the X-Men are showing up to rescue her, and shit's hitting the fan. I feel like everything in Marvel is culminating this week because there is so much epic drama. This book is not a buy it now. If she had taken it to the next level and done something a little bad, I would have bought it now. But it was close. It's definitely a wait for the trade. Moving on to Wolverine issue 3. Now, as we remember, Wolverine has lost his powers, and for some reason he defected to some assassin group, and he's been hanging out with them. This is kind of like a little prequel as to why. It bounces back and forth between now and then, and it explains a little more as to what is going on in his head and why he's doing what he's doing. That being said, piss on it. I don't give a shit about that book. Next up is Superior Spider-Man issue 29, Goblin Nation, part 3. This is what happens when Superior Spider-Man has been dragging and dragging and dragging, and you want some excitement. This book gives you the excitement. The Green Goblin infiltrates like everything. You can't stop this guy. This guy knows everybody's step. He knows that Spider-Man is Doc Ock. He knows what's going on, and oh my god, shit hits the fan. This book was fucking amazing. Buy it now. I know I haven't said it in a while with Superior Spider-Man, but definitely buy it now. Next up is Secret Avengers issue 1. We talked about this book before. This is basically if the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. teamed up and made, like, you know, a team that kind of like talked to each other and didn't hide shit from each other and actually worked together. Basically, you have Nick Fury, you've got Agent Coulson, who looks a lot like the Agent Coulson from the TV series / movies. You have Black Widow, Spider-Woman, Hawkeye. And I don't give a shit. The art was terrible. I hated every bit of the art. Watching Spider-Woman and Black Widow get a rub down, that part wasn't so bad, but the book overall, minus the nip slips with the wardrobe malfunctions and their little symbols over their nips, I wasn't really feeling it. I'm going to say piss on it. Next up is Deadpool, issue 25 point now, number 1. Basically, I don't know why they did number 1, other than Deadpool wanted more attention because he's an attention whore bigger than myself. The book was trash. I fucking hate Deadpool, and y'all know it, but this book itself, the art was terrible, the writing was terrible, there was zero plot, zero anything but Deadpool trying to kick some guy's ass and then trying to sneak away out of the country and having problems with TSA. Piss on it! Next up is Captain Marvel issue 1. I don't know much about Captain Marvel, and honestly, I really didn't care to know much about her. But this book let me see a little bit of a glimpse into who she is, and I didn't hate her. That being said, minus her making out with Rhodey in the corner, I didn't love her. I will give it a, I'm just going to read it on the shelf. Just read it on the shelf. It's not worth buying at all. Moving on to DC Comics with Batman issue 29. Now, Batman has gone up against Dr. Death and recently found out that he is not the one orchestrating this whole plan. It is the Riddler. And the Riddler has giant plans for the city. Giant, terrorizing, kill the world plans for Gotham. So Batman is up in a balloon, a hot air balloon, trying to save hot air balloon, dirigible, weather balloon. Moving on to DC Comics with Batman issue 29. Now, this book we all know has Batman facing a gentleman named Dr. Death, and he's like this ossified monster. And you find out he's not the one pulling the strings, it's actually the Riddler. Batman ends up in a weather balloon trying to stop the Riddler from up there. You've got Commissioner Gordon, young Detective Gordon, down on the ground trying to stop the Riddler from there. And both is kind of hoping if they fail, the other one will succeed and save the day. They both drop the ball, and the Riddler gets the upper hand, and the city is torn to bits. If you want to see Batman not save the day, this is the book to get. This book was pretty fucking awesome, and I'm going to give it a buy it now. Next up is Superman Wonder Woman issue 6. Now, remember a couple weeks ago when I said that watching Zor-El team up against Clark and Feora team up against Wonder Woman was like a badass fight? I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about because this book got fucking exciting. The fight was out of control. In the end, Clark and fucking Wonder Woman split an atom, caused a giant explosion, and I'm not quite sure if they survived, but shit got real fast. The fight scenes were intense, and I'm gonna give it another buy it now. DC, you are kicking ass. You aren't sucking. Next up, we're going to move on to a company called Arctic Press Entertainment. This book is Steampunk Red Riding Hood. I don't care for the steampunk genre at all, but I picked it up because the art on the cover was adorable. It was in issue 1, and I thought, why the hell not? Let's find a little book that nobody's ever mentioned and give it a shot. The art inside looks like it was drawn by various artists, because at some point the art looks good, almost sort of Sailor Moon-esque, or anime, like a classy anime. I guess Sailor Moon's not that classy. Then it starts looking a little shitty like a Dragon Ball Z. And in between, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Basically, Red Riding Hood and Grandma save the city from wolves. And then later, this like rapist woodsman shows up to kill Grandma. And the wolves team up with Red Riding Hood and save the day. Piss on it. This is why I don't pick up books I don't know. That book sucked. Fuck you. If they had taken the art from the cover and put it inside the book, it looks like it's a one-shot. So why not splurge, get that awesome artist to do your entire book, and I probably would have given it a pass just on the fact that it was cute. But it wasn't. Fuck that book. Let's wrap up this week with The Walking Dead issue 1, 2, 3. Now, for All Out War, this is 9 of 12, and everything's been culminating. We know Rick's team has been building their forces, hoping Negan comes tomorrow. Meanwhile, Negan is like, we come tonight. So Negan shows up, basically pushes their shit in, and Rick's health is in questionable circumstances at the end. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but I have to say, Kirkman has one of two choices, obviously. He can puss out and kind of take an easy route and kind of explain why Rick's health is okay. Or he can do what should be done in about 123 issues in, maybe Rick, you know what I'm saying? So I guess we find out in 124 and 5 if Kirkman actually has testicles. So I'm going to give it a wait for the trade. Definitely not a buy it now, but you need to catch up on All Out War. I've been saying it for 9 issues now. I'm going to wrap up this week by asking you, where the fuck have you been on Tuesday nights while I'm gaming? You can join me on the stream. I was playing Marvel Heroes this week. It is a free-to-play game, and as much as I hate free-to-play games, this one I actually did enjoy. We went to the Savage Land. I'm a level 17 Storm, and as much as I really want to put money into the game to get a better costume or a better character, I'm holding out and hoping that Kitty Pryde will eventually be playable. But if not, I am so tempted by Nightcrawler because he's fucking adorable. Go download Steam for free, download Marvel Heroes for free, and then join me Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And good night, everybody.